Hello again. I want to show you a few functions, a few new functions we haven't talked about, and then we'll implement them on this sheet. So I think I'm going to make a new sheet for me. I'll name it January 24 Take 2. Okay. I'm going to put it at the end. I didn't know if you knew you could do that, is draw these into any order that you want. Now, before I work with this, with the budget information, I just want to show you a few things. So what if I have a decimal 1.235, and I wanted, let's actually make it a 12.235, and then we'll make a 6.732 or 34. We might want to round these. So we could round, and then I could say the nearest ones. So if you want to round to the nearest ones, I want this to be 12, and I want this to be 7. And there is, how do you round? Well, guess, there's a round function. So we want to round this cell, and let me come back here. When I put round, it says put the number and then the number of digits. So I want to round this number. How many digits do I want? Meaning how many decimals? I wish it said number of decimals. I want no decimals. I just want the whole number. So now I'll take that, drag it down, and so I've got 7. Okay. What if I wanted to round to the nearest 0.1 place? So this I would want to be 12.2, and here 6.7, because the 3 doesn't round up. So then I round, and I would want to round this number, and I want to keep 1 decimal. So here's 12.2, then I should get 6.7. And similarly, if I want to round to the nearest 0.01, I would say, let's round this number to the second decimal place. And I should see 2, 3, but then the 5 is going to round up, so I should get 12.24. Here, that 4 is not enough to make the 3 round up, so I should get 6.73. There we go. Okay, so that's a little bit on rounding. Now let's talk a little bit about random numbers. So I'm just going to put some numbers in here. I might actually put them this way. So we have 12, 24, 36. Okay. Let me clear out this. Okay, so I might have 2 numbers, and I want to know what is a number between them. So I want a random number. Using random numbers is important in analysis because, especially statistical analysis, you don't have definites, but you know approximately something, and so you want to choose a random number. So what if I want a random number between 2 and 12? Well, let's do random, and there's different randoms. There's this RAND. It returns a number greater than 0 and less than 1, easily distributed. So if I just did random, it's going to give me a random number between 0 and 1. There's a bunch of them. And if I go down again, it's going to reset. Now I have a bunch of them there. Okay. So I, though, don't want a random number. I want a random number that is between. So I want a random number between, we'll say 2 and 12, and it's going to give me 3. And you could get a bunch of them. And, oops, I know what I did there. I don't want to explain it yet. So I'm just going to say, let's copy. We're going to copy and we're going to paste a bunch of them. So there's a 4. Let's do this again. Copy that. What's happening is it's changing to 8. I want to keep it at 7. In the next class, we'll learn how to not make that change. And so you could do it again. Random between. And I want to be between, again, 2 and 12. And this time, so I now have 8, 4, and 9. And so this is a way to get nice numbers between. So let's copy. I'm going to go back and copy the, I might even take, I'm going to copy the January onto this January 24 take 2. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of these tables. I don't need them here. So let's clear all. And I'm going to add some columns because I'm saying the monthly amount that I'm going to spend on, that I'm going to save for home repairs is $200. Actually, let me go down to a bill. I think that's more reasonable. Like a bill that's $35. Well, maybe it's $35, but say plus or minus $5. So I'm going to give myself a cushion. So I'm going to say, let's make a column for the expense that's lower, and let's make a column for the expense that's higher. What is this? This is ADLM. So I'm just going to make this look a little nice. I'll bold it. I'll change the font. There we go. Okay. So I don't really need to fixate on the formatting, but I like to. Okay, so for the low expense, for these savings, I'm going to say, okay, the savings is going to be the low one, the $20, but I'm going to give myself a cushion, minus 10, or maybe I go to equals the $200 plus 10. So I'm giving myself a range of values instead of saying it's just one specific value. And I want to do that for all of these in the savings category is the range of $10. Now, saving for the emergency fund, it says from -10 to 10. -10 doesn't make sense. I'm just going to zero out that column because we already have an emergency fund, so nothing's being saved. Now, how about cash? Let's do plus or minus 20. So lower bound is going to be the value minus 20. Upper bound will be the value plus 20. And that's what we'll do for cash. And then our bills, I think we will do this plus or minus 50. So minus 50. And then we have, actually that's not going to work because that's only 20. So I'm actually going to say our bills are pretty much set in stone. So I'm just going to say, let's just copy it over. So we're going to keep that at 500. So we will also just keep this at 500. So we're going to keep that constant. And then our debts, let's do plus or minus 20. So 335 minus 20, 335 plus 20. Okay, there we go. So now we have a new range. I could even say, what is the lower range? The lower total would be the sum of everything here. And the higher total will be the sum of the expense high column, which is right there. So now we have a range for our expenses, and we will use the random feature to help us out in a little bit in the next video.